So today we are discussing FLT4. Topics are as shown. I will be discussing physics part. So let's begin from question number 26. So in this question it is asked, what is total momentum acquired by all the electrons? That means it is not asking about just one electron, it is asking about all the electrons. So we know that current I is equal to N E A V D. N is number of electrons per unit volume. E is charge on one electron. A is area of cross section of the wire. And Vd is drift velocity. Okay. So now from here, drift velocity of all electrons will be how much? This much. And momentum of one electron is going to be, so for one electron it's going to be mass of electron into drift velocity. So this is going to be ME Vd, and for n number of electrons, let's say this wire has n number of electrons, so P for n all electrons, number of electrons that are there is how much? N. See, n is number of electrons per unit volume. So if in this n we multiply, if this n is basically multiplied by volume, we'll get total number of electrons. And A into L, this gives us ME, I'm sorry, this gives us NaL basically. This gives us just a second. So P for all electrons. So actually this is NaL is number of electrons present. So this is total number of electrons. It is going to be N into A into L, mass of one electron. Drift velocity we can just put it from above, N E A. So N and A goes with N and A. So final expression it comes out to be I M E. When you put all the values, like, so on putting all the values, 2 mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31. Length is 15 centimeter, which will be 0.15. And value of charge on one electron is this. We get answer as 17 into 10 raised to minus 30 each meter per second. So correct answer for this is this. Let's move on to question number 27. So in this question, length of the wire is made twice. Now, when for this wire, if you stretch it, so that length is made twice, volume of the wire remains same. So if this length is L, this area is A. Now, if length is made twice, so that volume of the wire remains same, volume is going to be A into L. So here volume, to make the volume same, area of cross section becomes A by 2. You can see 2L into A by 2. Volume remains the same. So now resistance of this wire was rho L by A, and the distance of this wire will be rho. Length is become twice, area becomes half. So this is 4 rho L by A. Let me take it R dash. So R was 5 ohms. So R dash comes out to 4 into 5, which is 20 ohms. Moving on to question number 28, you can see this is based on Kirchhoff's node law, Kirchhoff's current law, KCL. 2 and 2 will make here 4 amperes of current, correct? And 1 ampere goes from this node. So here remaining current will be 3 amperes. And now when you see 1.3 ampere goes in this node, how much will remain here? You can just subtract 1.3 from 3, it will give you 1.7 amperes. So the correct answer for this is 1.7 amperes. So in this question, heat generated, we are supposed to calculate. Heat generated is Q joules. heat generated is given by I square RT. Now let's say if I'm having a battery of EMF E with some internal resistance R and an external resistance R1. So I here is going to be here is going to be E upon R plus R1. Okay. So here Q is going to be E upon R plus R1 whole square I square into R square R. R is R1. Similarly, I can say for another, when I put here R2, same heat will be generated, only R1 will be replaced with R2, and it says it is equal. Instead of R1, I just put some R2 over here, R2. Okay, now when I solve this whole thing, what do we get? R1 upon R plus R1 the whole square equals to R2 R plus R2 the whole square. On further solving, what do we get? R1 R square to R2 R square plus R1 square. So let's try to figure it out how we can solve it. R square term we can take common over here. Let's say R1 minus R2. And, if I just take this 2R R1 R2 and 2R. So I think this term cancels with this term. This will get cancelled. प्लीज सॉल्व इट योरसेल्फ चिल्ड्रन, तो आपको और अच्छे से इसको समझ में आएगा तो आपको इस टाइप के प्रॉब्लम्स को कैसे टैकल करना है. तो आर स्क्वायर वाला टर्म ये ऑलरेडी ठीक, अब ये वाला टर्म बच गया अपने पास. जस्ट erase this. This should be equal to, let me take this on the other side. So r2 r1 square minus r1 r2 square. And from here, if I take R1, R2 is common, if I take here R2, R1 common, I get R1 minus R2. So R1 minus R2. So R square comes out to be, correct option is going to be D. So in this question, as it reads, the value of I does not depend on this resistance R6. That means this part of the network is going to be Wheatstone bridge. And we all know condition for Wheatstone bridge, R1 by R3 should be equal to R2 by R4. So if you just see R1, R4 should be equal to R2, R3. Correct option will be option C. So question number 31. For this question, first let us solve this set of resistances. So the R net for this will be 1 by 12 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4 is equal to 1 by R net. When you solve this whole expression, you get R net as 3 by 2, which is 1.5 ohms. Now the circuit will look something like this. This is 3 ohms, 1.5 ohms, 30 volt, and 1.5 ohm, which is internal resistance of the circuit. So now the current I is equal to E by total resistance R. Correct. Total R total. Let us say this is R total. So E is going to be 30 and R total is going to be 3, 1.5 plus 1.5, which is 6. So I is going to be 5 amperes. So potential difference across this will be how much? V is equal to IR. That makes it 5 into 3. That is 15 volts. Potential difference across this will be how much? V equals to IR. 5 into 1.5, which is 7.5 volts. So correct option for this is 15 and 7.5 volts. Okay. So question number 32 or question number 32, we are given with cross section and length and current. So we can easily calculate resistance of the wire. Resistance of the wire will be rho L by A. Okay, and we can also calculate potential difference. V is equal to I into R. So potential difference is this. So current is 1 ampere and resistance is rho L by A. So this is 1.8 into 10 raised to minus at rho. L is how much? Length is 0.5 and area of cross section is 2 into 10 raised to minus 6. Now, actually, we know E is equal to V by D. In this wire, electric field is given by whatever is the potential difference across this length divided by the length of the wire, which is, let's I've written here D, but we can just take it as L, V by L. Okay, so uh, E is going to be V by L. So L is this. If we just put it over here, V by 0.5, it gives us 1 into 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 8, 2 into 10 raised to minus 6. And we solve this whole thing. This is 0.9 and this is 0.009 volt per meter. So correct option will be this. When you solve this, you get this. So question number 33. Let's assume a sphere or a sphere of some inner radius R1 and outer radius R2. What here? What we is here is some potential. Let's assume V1 and here's some potential V2. Okay, and at a distance R, let's assume at a distance R there is some small length. Consider a small length over here. At a distance R, we'll assume this to be dr, a small thickness dr. Okay, so now here this thickness is dr and here potential is dv, a small potential difference dv, because potential difference will be changing constantly throughout this when we move from this point to this point. Let's say here potential difference is dv, thickness is dr, and this distance itself is at a distance r. Okay. Now we know correct dv is equal to I into r. Okay, it's a small element or let's say I into dr. So I dr will be rho L by A. Resistance is rho times L by A. So length here is dr and area of cross section is 4 pi r square. The current is going to be constant, and if I integrate this expression, what do I get? dv is equal to, or rather, let's take limit v1 to v2, 0 to, let's say, take a distance r, because at this point there's no current assuming. So it will be V2 minus V1. Oh, okay. So okay, so let's it's not going to be 0. It's R1 to R. Let us see. R1 to R. So now V2 minus V1 will be I into rho 4 pi minus 1 by R, limit from R1 to, when I solve this, what do I get? Let's say this is delta V, which is a constant again, I rho 4 pi 1 by R1 minus 1 by R. Now, here we need to calculate drift velocity. So we all know current is actually I is equal to NEA VD, or let's say all these things are constant over here. Some constant K into drift velocity. Okay, so so when I plot, so actually you can see here, since I is a constant and drift velocity is directly proportional to current, you can see that. So I is direct, I is, you can just see, I mean, we just need to plot I with 1 upon 1 by R1 minus 1 by R. So when I plot this, I think we should get to, shape of the graph should be this, like this. Because as R tends to 0, I will tend some value I will tend, and as I tend to 0, this whole expression will tend a minimum value. As I tends to 0, this whole expression will yeah, as I tends to 0, this whole expression will tend a uh, kind of an infinite value, which is achieved at this point. So I think correct option for this question should be D. So in question number 34, please look very carefully. So let me also make some resistance R1 here and another resistance R2 over here. Now when I consider only this branch, and because this ammeter is an ideal ammeter, so the current that goes to this branch because of this battery will be, let's say, I1. So I1 will be E1 by R1. Now also this battery is also connected to this ammeter. So let's say current that goes because of this battery to this ammeter is, let's say, I2. So here I2 will be E2 by R2. Now the total current that flows here is I, which is equal to I1 plus I2. And when you put these values, E1 by R1 is E2 by R2, which makes it E1 R2 plus E2 R1 upon R1 R2. So correct option should be option B. Moving on to question number 35. Please see, I little bit enlarge this diagram. Okay. So please just see over here that let potential difference across this point A and C, A and D is same. That means what? First we'll see here what is happening, and then C and B along C and B is also the same, and D and B is also the same. That means VA minus VC is equal to, let's say if some current I is flowing here, it will be I into 1. That is I. Correct. Now, when I say VA minus VD, this is also, this is, that's a delta V. So now this is what, this should also be I, because VA minus VC same as VA minus VD, it is given in the question. Okay. So to make this same as VA minus VC, what we can do is, if we take current as I by 2 and resistance is 2, so again this happens to be I, which let's say delta V. So here the current that flows is I by 2. Okay. Now potential across C and B is also same as A and C. That means VA minus VC is also equals to VC minus VB. Correct. And this should be again equals to I, which is in turns equals to delta V. Now please try to think on this question very cleverly. देखो यहाँ पर अगर मेरा रेजिस्टेंस 1 ओम का है, I mark this. So this net resistance should also be 1 ohm. Then only potential will be same here. Are you understanding? If my this R net is also 1 ohm, then only potential across VA minus VC and VC minus VB will be same. So what we can do here? What we can do here is, we can just say 1 by R1 plus 1 by 1 by 3 is equal to 1 by 1. So from this R1 comes out to be 1 minus 1 by 3, 2 by 3, 3 by 2. And similarly, if I say that this is 2 ohm, this also has to be 2 ohm, then only my potential across VA minus VD and VD minus VB, it will be same. Okay. So again, I can say 1 by 4 plus 1 by R2 is equal to 1 by 2. And from here, R2 comes out to be 2 ohms. I'm sorry, R2 comes out to be 4 ohms. Now, here the current was I, here it is 3. And now I know this R1 is actually, now here I know R1 is 1.5 ohms. Now when you use voltage division method, so let's, the current that goes here I1 is, so actually you can just see it here. If this is R, this is 2R, so current that goes here is 2I by 3, and the current that goes here is I by, so you can see potential difference is kind of equal for this value of current. It comes 2IR by 3, here also 2IR by 3. Okay, so here also the current that goes here is 2I by 3 in, so I1. So I1 will be 2I by 3, and because these two resistances seems to be equal, so current will, I by 2 will divide equally over here. So if let's say here was I2 current, so I2 is equal to I by, iska half will be I by 4. So the ratio of currents in I, so I1 by I2 comes out to be 2I by 3 upon I by 4, which is 8 by 3. So correct option is a D option here. Moving on to next question. Moving on to question number 36. We are given resistances in series have, so this is just a mathematical question. R1 R2 is equal to 20, and when I take it in parallel, that is R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2, this is 3.75. Now R1 plus R2 is already given as 20, so R1 R2 comes out to be, R1 R2 comes out to be, if I put here as 20 into 3.7, this gives me 150. So put this as 20, and you can just see. Okay. So if you just put this as 20, if you just put this part as 20, multiply this here, so this, you get this. I hope this is clear. Now how to solve this kind of equations? We can calculate R1 plus R2 whole square is going to be R1 square plus R2 square plus 2R1 R2. We need actually R1 minus R2. So for that purpose, we are calculating R1 square plus R2 square. So R1 plus R2 is 20 ka whole square, which is 400. Yeah. And this R1 square plus R2 square plus 2 into 150, which is 300. 3 uh 300, just a second. 3.75 into 0.75 into 20 is 75. I'm sorry, R1 R2 is not 150. It will come out to be 75. You can check it. When you put the value of R1 R2 as 20 into this thing is 75. Okay, do it in case you haven't understood this. R1 R2 upon 20 is equal to 3.75, which is 75. So from here we get this comes out to be 75 into 2 is 150 plus 150. So R1 square plus R2 square is 250. Now similarly, I can do it for R1 minus R2 the whole square also. I know this is R1 square plus R2 square minus 2R1 R2. R1 R2 square is 250. R1 R2 75. That makes it 150. Therefore, R1 minus R2 is 10. So this was our equation number 1. And now I can see if I just add 1 and 3, I get 2R1 as 30. So R1 is 50. And when I subtract, I get R2. I get, when I subtract 1 minus 3, what I get? I get 2. R2 is equal to 10. R2 is equal to 5. So option will be 15 ohms and 5 ohms. So now moving on to question number 37. Let's say we have a battery setup like this with internal resistance R, and this is potentiometer is again connected by some battery. Okay. So if we assume velocity gradient of this potentiometer is K and EMF of the cell is E, so very well we can see no current is flowing through this because potential across this and potential across this are same. So no current is flowing through the circuit. So what we can say here is E is equal to K times L, let's say. Let's say L is the length. Okay. Now what we do, we shunt it with 8 ohm resistance as it is given. So let me use a red color for this. When I shunt it with 8 ohm resistance, now what happens? Now some current starts to flow. Some current starts to flow in this circuit. Okay. So now what happens? Because what will happen? Now this will slightly shift at this point. Okay, so let's say this length is the new length that we get now is L dash. Okay. New length we got now here is L dash. Now, so now here, what is potential difference across this will be reflected in this part. So whatever is the potential difference across this 8 ohm resistor, same is going to be the potential difference across. So potential difference across this is K L dash. And what is potential difference across this 8 ohm resistor? Let's say this is equal to capital R. It is I. I will be I into small capital R. I is E upon R plus R into capital R. Now, E we know from here is K times L, correct? So if I put K L dash equals to K times L R upon R plus R, okay? So from here, what do we get? From here we get L dash by L as R upon R plus R, and L dash minus L upon L. I'm just subtracting one from here, gives me R. This gives me minus of R upon R plus R. Now L dash minus L, it itself is a negative number. Okay, this itself is a negative number. So this whole thing gives you percent change, percent change. So what is percent change over here? It will be 0.2. It is 0.2. This whole thing is minus 0.2 rather, because there is decrease in the length change will be decreased. So this is minus R upon R plus R, and minus minus goes off. And if I put R as 8 over here, so this thing will be 0.2 equals to R upon 8 plus R. If I'm not wrong, that's 8. Yeah. So this is 1.6. 1.6 plus 0.2 R equals to R. So just a second, I think I'm making some mistake here. So calculation mistake I think I'm making here. So this is yeah, it's correct. It's correct. So this is 1.6 equals to R minus 0.2 R will be 0.8 R. Okay. And R is going to be 2 ohms. So for this question, our answer will be 2 ohms. Moving on to the next question. So in this question, question number 38, let us discuss it. So we are given a capacitor. So whenever a capacitor is given, no current flows through this branch. Current will never ever enter in this branch if a capacitor is put. So whole of the current I will go here and it will come out here like that. So if I calculate R net for this, it will be 1 by R equals to 1 by 4 plus 1 by 2. It happens to be, let me put 2 over here, 3 by 4, which is 4 by 3. And so now I know 4 by 3 over here, 2 over here, and resist and a battery of 5 volt over here. So we know V is equal to I into R. V is 5 I into 4 by 3 plus 2. This happens to be I into 10 by 3. So I happens to be 3 by 2 amperes. Now, again, we see a similar setup. Please try to figure it out how this happens. This is 4 ohms. This is 2 ohms. If a current I enters here, try to derive this thing for yourself. If I enter, no, this is double of this. Correct. So I by 3 will enter here and 2I by 3 will enter here. So I know if I just simply make it I by 3, I'll get the current in 4 ohms resistor. So in this I by 3 current will enter, and I by 3 current is 1 by 2 amperes. This is 0.5 amperes. Moving on to the question number 39. So this is a directly formula based question, and we can see here formula for internal resistance is R L minus L dash upon L dash. Here L is length in open circuit. Open circuit means there's no current flowing, or when the external resistance is not taken into consideration. L dash length when external resistance is taken into consideration. So for example, if I take a length L over here, or let's say this is my potentiometer of some length L, and when I connect it to this point. So now if I just switch it off, and an external resistance also there, switch it off, and then you connect it. So that is the length in open circuit. Okay, and L dash, what happens when you close the circuit? This external resistance R over here, and when you close it, and when this length, you see it slightly changes over here. This is length in closed circuit. It's a closed circuit. So now here L dash is given as L minus L dash is actually, so L is given as, first of all, L is given as, we'll just keep on putting up the values. R is 15, L is 500 if I'm not wrong, and L dash is changes by 50 centimeter. That is L dash is 450, and L dash is 450. So because it changes by 50 centimeters, so L dash comes out to be 450. Length is decreasing over here. So now when you solve this whole thing, you get answer as 5 by 3 ohms. Answer for this is 5 by 3. Question number 40. Let us see how to solve this. Resistance is given by rho L by A, but here we are given masses of the copper wire. Masses of the copper wire are in the ratio M1 is to M2 is to M3, which is 5 is to 3 is to 1. So mass will be how much? Mass can be written as density into volume, and volume can be written as A into L, area of cross section into length. So in one sense, we can say this ratio of masses is nothing but A1 L1 is to A2 L2 is to A3 L3, which is given as 5 is to 3 is to 1. And we're also given with L1 is to L2 is to L3, which is 1 is to 3 is to 5. Now, resistance we can write it as rho A into, or let us write it like this, L square upon A into L. So, L1 square is to L2 square is to L3 square can be written as 1 is to 9 is to 25. And so resistances R1 is to R2 is to R3 can be written as L square is 1 upon 5. You can say L square upon A1 L1, because rho is going to be constant for this copper wire. It's to 9
Sir,
upon
please
3.
admit Tanish Mehta.
Yeah, I admitting. This is 1 by 25. So when it's, sorry, this is 25 by 1. So when you solve this, you get 1 is to 15 is to 125. So that is the answer for this.
Yes, sir.
So now let us solve this question number 41. Actually, in this question, if you see, this is symmetrical circuit, and how much current that goes into this, same amount of current goes into this, and let's say same amount of current also, not same, but let's say I1. Okay, and when this So current was entering from this point onwards, correct? And now when current is going to exit, it is going to exit in the same ratio because resistances in which it divided was same. And that's what is the basic about a symmetric circuit is. So when current is going to converge at this point, वो सेम रेशियो में ही आएगा करंट, ठीक है। सो ये आई हो गया, यहाँ पे आई वन हो गया, यहाँ पर आई हो गया। तो हम यहाँ पर क्या देख रहे हैं कि इस वाले पॉइंट पे ये पूरा का पूरा करंट इस पॉइंट से पास हो रहा है, पूरा का पूरा करंट इस पॉइंट से पास हो रहा है, पूरा का पूरा करंट इस पॉइंट से पास हो रहा है। मतलब दिस रेजिस्टेंस एंड दिस रेजिस्टेंस दे आर गोइंग टू बी इनफंक्शनल, करेक्ट। अगर आपको ऐसे व्यू नहीं करना, आप इसको दो व्हीटस्टोन ब्रिज की तरह भी देख सकते हो। दिस इज वन व्हीटस्टोन ब्रिज एंड अनदर व्हीटस्टोन ब्रिज, ओके। चलिए, सो so we can just redraw this diagram as 2R and 2R, R and R, 2R and 2R, okay. And when you solve this, you get 1 by 4R plus 1 by 4R plus 1 by 2R equals to 1 by R net. And this comes out to be so R net comes out to be okay. Let's move on to the next question now. Moving on to question number 42. We all know the power dissipated is I square R into T. So yeah, I square R, that's all energy. So power dissipated will be I square R. Okay. So maximum value of resistance that we can get will be, I think, for this circuit, this will have a maximum value of resistance. This will have R max. And this will have minimum value. So power will be maximum for one and minimum for two. Okay. And then you can just check it out, R and R. So this is 1 by 2R plus 1 by R. That makes it how much? 1 by R net. So that makes it 3 by 2R equals to 1 by R net. So R net is equal to 2R by 3. And if you just see this, this is R by 2. This is R, this is R, this will be R by 2. So this will be, I think, 3 by 2R. Okay. So you can see here very well that maximum power will be dissipated in one, and then the power will be dissipated will be for, I think, this 4. Then the power that will be dissipated will be in third, and then the power that will be dissipated will be in second. Actually, by just looking at this maximum and minimum, because here 1 is maximum and 2 is minimum, you can could have skipped this step of calculating resistances, and you could have directly checked option number C. Let's see question number 43. Let's see question number 43 now. So it says a uniform conductor of resistance R is cut into 20 equal pieces. So 20 equal pieces makes resistance of each piece as R by 20. That is resistance of each piece. Now 10 or half of them are joined in series, means 10 of them are joined in series. That makes resistance in series as 10 into R, which is, we'll put the value later. And resistances in parallel will be 1 by R plus 1 by R. This will be 10 times which makes it 10 by r. Now it says the fact if the two combination are joined in series, it says if I join this and this in series, this will give me 10r plus 10 by r. That makes it almost 100. Sorry, yeah, 100 plus. Sorry, this is r by 10. So this makes it this is r by 10 actually. This will be 101 r by 10, and if I put a r as r by 20, I get final answer as 101 r by 11. So this is our final answer. So our answer will be C. Let's see question number 44. So let us now solve question number 44. So here we know R at temperature T is R naught 1 plus alpha. And just use this relation. So R at T is given as, let's say first take at 50 degrees Celsius, 10 is equal to R naught 1 plus alpha is here. Let's put it like that. And T is 50. And this is how much? 12 is equal to R naught 1 plus alpha into 100. Now when I divide these two, we get 1.2 at 1.2 upon 1 plus 50 alpha upon 1 plus 100 alpha. This gives us 1.2 plus we have taken, okay, I think this should be I'm sorry, I just rewrote it incorrectly. This should be 1 plus 100 alpha and this should be 1 plus 50 alpha. So 1.2 plus 1.2 into 50 is 60 alpha equals to 1 plus 100 alpha. So this is 0.2 equals to 40 alpha. So alpha from here comes out to be 0.2 upon 40 per degree Celsius or Kelvin. And having found this out, if you put in any of these equations, let's say I put it over here. Let's say I put it over here. Yeah. So 10 is equal to R naught 1 plus 0.2 upon 40 into 50. Please solve this, or let me solve this. It's correct. And 5, 8, 4. So this is 10 equals to R naught 1.25 and R as 8 ohms. So point is once you get alpha, once please calculate this alpha and put in this equation, you will get 8 as answer. So let's move on to question number 45. We know I is dq by dt. This is 2 minus 0.2 t. So dq is going to be times dt. Okay, so now when I when I integrate it from t equals to 0 t equals to t, where the charge will be this, it will be t minus by 2. We'll put it from 0 to tt is here 10. So 0 to 10. So let's see that. So this comes out to be 20 minus That makes it how much? 10 coulombs of the charge. So how many electrons will be there in 10 coulombs of the charge? We know Q is equal to N times E. So Q here is 10, N is, we will need to find 1.6 is 19. So when I solve this, this is standard expression actually. So you can get it easily. 10 divided by 1.6. 6.25 into 10 is to 19. So our answer will be B. Now moving on to integer type questions. Question number 46. So in this question, let's assume currents, which will be as follows. It will be, let's say I1 current is here and I2 current is over here. And as you can see, a current divides accordingly. In this pattern of the resistance is reversed. So current also will follow from 2 ohms resistance. Current I2 current will come and here because in whatever ratio current divides here, same ratio current is going to combine. So if we consider this path, we just mark it over here. So from here we see, or rather, okay. So let me take this one. So if we move accordingly in this path which is being highlighted, the equation that forms is this, is as follows. I1 plus 6 into 4 plus 24 plus again I1. This is I1 current, and because we are moving like this, so it will be minus. You can see we are moving like this. This is minus, this is plus. So if we move like this, it will be minus. So this is equal to 0. So it will be 2I1 minus E is equal to minus 24. Okay, now let's see another circuit over here. Let's see this circuit now. In this no, for this it will be 2I2 plus I1 minus E is equal to 0. This is my second equation. And the third equation, or I'll put it in proper sequence. So I'll put I1 minus E plus 2I2. Then this is my second equation, and you can also see it from here that I1. So if we take at this node, we take equation at this node, we see that I1 is equal to 6 plus I2, or I1 minus I2 is 6. So let us put this equation also over here. I1 minus I2 is equal to, so equation number 3. So we have 3 equations and 3 variables. Now how to solve this equation? To get value of E. So if I let's say multiply this with 2, what do we get? Let's say I multiply this equation with 2. So I get 2i1 minus e equals to minus 24. I1 plus 4i2 minus e is equal to 0. So I get here. Anyways, okay. What I'll do is I'll add it first. We'll come to know why I'm adding it. 4i1 plus 4i2 is multiplied by 2, so minus 2e minus 3e equals to minus 24. Okay, now one time what I'm going to do is I'm going to from this equation I1 minus I2 equals to 6. I'm going to multiply this again with 4. Okay, so one time I'm going to add this equation. So when I'm adding this equation, what I get? 4i1 minus 4i2 3. Okay, I'm sorry. Get here is 24. Get here is 24. Now we just need to subtract this. So I2 I2 cancels. What we are left out with 8i1 minus 3e is equal to is equal to 0 actually. And if you just see over here, this is another equation which is 2i1 minus e is equal to minus 24. So if I multiply this with 4, what I get? 8i1 minus 4e equals to 16i1. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add it minus plus plus this goes, and here what we're left with e is equal to 24 into 4, which is 96, which also happens to be the answer of this question. So the answer for this will be 96. These are three questions. You can develop your own ways of solving, but these are the equations which you can get from this using Kirchhoff's law. Let's solve question number 47. So question number 47, we are given with let's say this is 2.4 volt. This is like this. We are having, let's say, some n number of cells which is connected to a 0.8 I'm sorry, a 20 ohm resistor, and a current of 0.5 ampere is flowing. So we need to calculate this value of n. So let's use Kirchhoff's law. For this loop, when we make the equation, it will be something like this. When we are moving from this point to this point, equation would be 20 into 0.5 IR. Current across this will be I into R. 20 into this. Okay. Now when I am moving here, this will be 0.5 into internal resistance. Internal resistance is 0.8. Okay. And because we are moving like this, now see this, we are moving like this. Negative terminal we are encountering first, and then a positive terminal, so it will be minus of E, which is 2.4. And likewise we are having n such cells, so we'll multiply this whole number with n, and this should be equal to 0. When we solve, 0.4, so this is 10, and 10, and this is minus 2 n zeros. From here n comes out to be 5. Moving on to the next question. To clarify how we are using Kirchhoff's law, if current is moving like this, R is this, I is this, we are taking VA minus VB. VA minus VB here will be I into R. And if we are moving like this, it will be minus R. If I, let's say I take VB minus V, I will take minus IR. So for Kirchhoff's voltage law says for whole of this loop, it will be delta V is going to be 0. So of all voltages across this loop will be 0. Okay, so now let's move on to next question, question number 48. Let us see how to solve this question now. So now in case you haven't understood Kirchhoff's law, you'll understand it now here. So so now because here is a capacitor which is being formed, so or put which is in steady state, so no current will flow through this branch AB. Okay, so current, let's say current will be flowing something like this. And you can see there's no node throughout, so current won't be divided and current will remain same as I. Now when we make this equation, so I'll first, okay, I'll across this battery, so we'll be moving in the direction of current. Okay, and we'll frame this equation one. So when you're moving like this, so across battery, what will be the potential drop? It will be minus 2.5 because we are moving like this. We are encountering negative terminal first and then positive terminal. Plus 20 into I. Again, you can see current always flows from high potential to a low potential. So 20 into I will be potential difference across this point. Then again, you can see current is flowing like this. So here it will be 10I. V equals to I into R. And when we are moving now here for this battery, you can see we are encountering positive terminal first and then negative terminal. So it will be plus 1 volt. So this is going to be 0 as per Kirchhoff's law. So this will be 30I minus 1.5 is equal to 0. This builds 30I is equal to 1.5. I is equal to 1.5 upon 30. 0.05 amperes. Now, yes. So, so if I take this point is B, this point is C, or this point is A, and let's say this point is C. We need to calculate. We need to calculate VC minus VA or VA minus VC, whatever is convenient to us. So first VA minus VB. VA minus VB will be 10 into I, 10 into I plus 1, which happens to be 10 into 0 0.05, 1.5 volts, VA minus VB, and VB minus VC. VB minus VC is going to be minus 1.5 volts. Now if I add them, I get VA minus VC, VB cancels, VA minus VC, which happens to be 0. So VA minus VC or VC minus VA is going to be 0. So answer for this question will be 0. I hope also you learn to apply Kirchhoff's law. So question number 49, let us solve this. So it says an electric kettle has 2 coils. Maybe it's some 2 coils like this. Maybe you may have 2 coils like this for an electric kettle. So when you use one of it, its resistance let's say is R1 and let's say its resistance is R2. So 10 minutes for this one and 15 minutes for this one. 10 minutes and 15 minutes. So because it is connected to some potential difference which is going to be same for this and this. So yeah, so it will, energy produced will be V square by R into T. So what do we see? V square P1 by R1 is equal to V square T2 by R2. It implies V square will get cancelled off, and T1 R1 which is this, T2 15 minutes, and this is R2, and therefore R1 by R2 is 10 by 15 is 2 by 3. So R1 by R2 is 2 by 3. Okay. So let's say R1 is 2K, R2 is 3K. So when I connect it in parallel, I get 1 by 2K plus 1 by 3K. 5 by 6K. So R net comes out to be 6K by 5. Now, generate this much amount of energy, V square R, we can take R1 as 2K over here into time was 10 minutes equal to V square upon, now we'll take R as 6K by 5 into T minutes. So V square will cancel, K and K will cancel. So it will be, it is going to be 5T by 6. So 2, 5, 5 and 5 also cancel. So T is equal to 6 minutes. So this is our answer to question number 49. Let's move on to the last question of this paper, question number 50. So moving on to the last question. So last question answer was, I think, a little bit wrong. We'll just try to see the correct way of doing this. I think the answer given is 0, but it's not coming 0. I'll tell you why. See over here, we are given, because you see the arrangement of the cells that are being made like this, correct? So let's say each cell is having an internal resistance of 0.2 amperes, sorry, 0.2 ohms. So if I, let's say, put internal resistances over here, 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 and here. So, what is and if let's say current is flowing through all of this in this direction, current is flowing. So we'll be moving like this. So what will be the potential drop due to internal resistances? It will be 8 into I into R. Okay, and you can just see 1, 2, 3. 3 are in this direction, and 4 are in opposite direction. 3 in this direction and 4 are in opposite direction. So if I'm moving, let's say if I'm moving like this, so I'll get, I'm sorry, 5 minus 5e, because you see when I move from here to here, I get minus e. When I move from here to here, I get minus e. When I move from here to here, I get minus e. When I move from here, I get minus e. And when I move from here to here, I also get minus e. So it is minus 5e, okay, minus 5e plus e plus e and plus e, because when I'm moving like this, as I said, positive to negative, I'll get plus 3e. This is going to be 0. So 8IR equals to 2e, and R, or let's say I, is E by 4R. E is 5. So into 0.2, which makes it 50 by 8 amperes. So what will potential difference across this? It will be minus E plus IR. That will be potential difference across this. So minus E is minus 5 plus I is 50 upon 8 into R, which is 0.2, which makes it, this makes it, what was 8? 5 by 4 is how much? 5 by 4 is 5 divided by 4 is 1.25. So this is minus 5 minus 5 plus 5 divided by 4 gives us minus 3.75. So we will be minus 3.7. So in case if I have written this answer, I'll correct it in your test papers. So reading across potential voltmeter will be minus 3.75. So with this we end with FLT4. Thank you so much.